What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Today's video was originally just going to be an unboxing of a pretty major key that I picked up for my Grail run, but instead it's turning into an issue of an eBay seller not only shipping out a book, a high value book, in a way that should never be done, never be shipped out, and then me trying to communicate with the seller and a seller literally acting like a 5-year-old child. So this is what we're going to do, folks. As you can see here, I reached out to this individual on eBay. The blue message that you see was a message that I sent right after I received the book, and I gave this individual a chance to respond. Now we're going to go through how this individual acted, which just blows my mind, and our back and forth. But before we do that, we're now going to tune in to the unboxing, and I will meet you back here to go over the messaging after that.
You too, Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. I'm kind of laughing, but I'm actually really pissed. I received this in the mail with a Silver Age mega key. Well, I wouldn't say mega key. You guys might think using the term mega is a little extreme, but a really solid Silver Age key. Guess what title it's from? The only one I'm collecting right now, Amazing Spider-Man. And it came like this, folks. We're going to open this up, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm extremely pissed, why this seller gets no love from me, and why this should never, ever happen. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Check out all the links in the description below, including the link to my Whatnot storefront. You guys, if you don't have the Whatnot app, if you use the link below to sign up, you can get $15 off of your first purchase from anyone on the app. I do have a storefront with hundreds of buy it now items, and I accept offers on everything there. So go ahead, check it out, and let's just get into opening this up. So I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know exactly what he has protecting this. Now, I'm just thankful that it came as it did. I can tell at least before opening it that it didn't get too much damage. It's got one of the, I don't know the specific name of what these are called, but they're, you know, the stretchy, plasticky things. This thing is, I could feel like there might be a backing board on both sides, and that's it. And that's it. Look at this. Look at how easy. I don't want to do that because this is a very valuable book in here, but this is the most pathetic way I've seen a book ship, especially considering the value of this book. This was an eBay seller. So you're selling extremely valuable comic books on eBay. And this is how you're going to ship it, ground advantage to save a couple of bucks. Dude, put it in a Gemini mailer. You could still ship it ground advantage. Put it in a Gemini mailer and send it priority and charge me a couple more dollars. This makes no sense at all. And I'm going to do another problem with this is I got to use Red Deadly here to cut into this without like cutting into the book. So I'm going to go ahead and get, man, this is, I'm not really bringing it out of me. My voice is kind of coarse right now too. So I'm not as probably animated as I usually am, but like I'm infuriated, dude. This is uncalled for. You know, this isn't like somebody that is a seller that came into a couple of random dollar bin comics that doesn't know how to ship comics. This is a comic book seller on eBay selling keys. Look at this. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? One backing board. There's the comic book. And another backing board. It looks like a half back. Thank you for your purchase. Please contact me if you have any questions or concerns at all. The guy's name is Brian. Well, Brian, you are lucky that this book came in the condition that it did without getting, I mean, I'm going to assume It's not even in Mylar. It's in a poly bag. I should be making a video. So happy about this book. But it's turned into the fact that this should never be done. But let me tell you guys what book I got. Now, it is very important to me. For those that follow my channel, you guys know I'm working on my Grail run. That's the only thing I'm putting money in. Anytime I make some sales on my Whatnot app, I try to take as much of that money as I can to put back into the books that I need for my Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 run. Before this book, I was technically 15 away or 14 away. So now I'm 13 away. Okay. And it's a big one out of the ones I needed. I needed 1 through 7, 9, and 1 through 7, 9, 13, 14, and 15, 20 for Scorpion, 34, second Harry and second Gwen, and issue 41, first Rhino. That's all that's left. That is all that's left. I got me in ASM 41. And yeah, I'm smiling here. I am so happy. It was an auction item. I feel like I got it at a solid price. Clearly it's not super high grade. We're going to pull this out of the bag here, but we're going to get back. We're going to get back to the packaging, guys, because I have a statement to make. I do. And I'm sure most of you guys already know and understand. Oh, this is another thing never to do. Oh my God. Okay. This is a self-sealable bag. I love sealable bags because you don't need to use the tape. But usually the self-sealant, you pull the little strip off the back of the bag and the sticky is right here. This bag has the sticky on the flap. So what's going to happen if I pull this, very valuable book out? Oh my God. This dude, he's going to get a mouthful for me. And some of you guys may be watching like, Chris, man, like, come on, chill. The book came in good shape. It doesn't matter. These are basic, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like you are just looking for something to go wrong. You're adding fuel to a fire here and taking huge risks by sending the book the way he did, by using one of these bags. Oh my God. So I can't even, this is the problem with this. If it was tape, I could take the tape off. I can't even slide this bag out without the stickiness not being here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to attempt to rip this off before I even try to, there we go. Damn. This looks like even this is a polyethylene bag too. Oh my goodness. Okay, definitely pressable. So let's show you guys here. You got a lot of crinkles over here. See all this? Definitely can get all that pressed out. So a nice press is definitely going to benefit this book. Nice flat spine. But of course, decently sharp edge at top. Spine wear up here. We got a good amount of spine ticks and spine wear, of course, running parallel and the spine ticks going out. Lots of wear on the bottom. And then we got some, color breaks right here. Not a lot going on in the center of the book, which is solid. Little bit of wear right there, maybe, or is that on his costume? I can't tell. Overall, very, very well presentable book. It does, I don't know if that's a subscription crease. Right in there, just kind of a little bit of a crease. Let's look at the back. We got a kind of a deep rip. Is that coming off the staple? Right there. Other than that, pretty solid. We got some discoloration right here where it's white. I don't know what that is. That may have just been how it aged, maybe. I don't know. Very interesting. There's not a change really in texture there. Decently sharp corners for the back. Let's open this up. Nice off-white pages. Let's get to the centerfold. Where are we at? Book looks complete as it should be. Centerfold is nice and intact. Nothing cut out. Looking great. Yeah. All right. So I'm wondering if this is a little bit of moisture damage that's causing some of these wrinkles. I think it is. Ooh. You can't, there's no staining on the page, but as I open up the front cover and look right here, there's a little bit of discoloring, a little deeper browning right here, or tanning, that might be due to some moisture damage. Hard to tell. As is, I would probably put this book at roughly, I mean, if that's a little bit of water damage, probably a 3.0. But I definitely think that this book, as is, can get up to a 4.0 with the press. That's my humble opinion. So, overall, guys, I'm very happy with this book. Another one down. I can't believe it. Now all I need is 1 through 9. The big, which are big, 1 through 7. Number 9. 13, 14, and 15. Mysterio, Green Goblin, and Kraven's first appearances. Those are going to be tough. And then issue 20, which is Scorpion's first appearance. And then issue 34. Issue 34 probably might be the next one that I get. It's going to be the easiest. And then that's it. That's it, guys. Oh, my goodness. So let's get back to the issue of how this book was shipped. Look, like I said, he is lucky that this book wasn't damaged. He's lucky that it just didn't get dented on the side, something folded up, folded, full on folded. There's no reason a comic book should be shipped like this, even if it's a $5, $6, $7 comic book. For a comic book that's worth, the value of this book, absolutely not. It is the basic thing that you can do to spend 75 cents to $1 on a Gemini mailer. Put that fee up to me, up to the buyer. You charge the buyer for it. I will gladly pay another $1 for a Gemini mailer. I will gladly pay a few extra dollars for you to ship a priority. But like I said, if you put one comic book in one Gemini mailer, you can still ship that ground advantage, and it probably would have been maybe only a $1 more in terms of weight than how we shipped this book. It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. I will be sending this individual an email saying, look, as somebody that sells high value comic books, you should know better. I would never buy from you again if you ship this way, if I knew that it was being shipped this way. Secondly, I'm going to tell him about the bags that he uses. Never use comic book bags that have the self-sealing adhesive on the flap itself. It has to be on the back side of the bag, where the flap goes around it and the flap sticks to the back. This is horrible. I mean, I said that this is the worst way that a comic book has been shipped to me. I've had comic books shipped in something like this, like, with not even a back and board to protect it, a bubble wrap, or just a bubble, a similar envelope, but with the bubble in it, with the book not even having a board on it. I actually had one person send me a book in a medium flat rate box, priority box, the ones that are like, not the more square, they're all triangle, but the slimmer ones and the longer ones, with one comic, and it was just sliding around in there. I do believe it was in a bag and board. It was like sliding around loose in this big, like, what the hell? Thankfully, it was just an item that I won from somebody's whatnot giveaway. So technically, I think I've had worse, but all of those books have been not of any value. This was the worst because it was such a high value book that could easily be damaged. And I'm just thankful that it wasn't. Like, wow. So that's my video for today, guys. I'm very happy just to have this book and it's going in the press. But then I wish it could have been a happier video, but I had to come here talking about how horribly it was shipped. So for anybody shipping comic books, for whatever reason you're shipping them, know better. If you're going to use something like this and not use a Gemini mailer, don't just use backing boards. Get some thick cardboard that actually is wider than the comic book, at least 1/2 inch all around. And, put some painter's tape around the sides, tape it up. Even that is so much better than just leaving it with no protecting to work and ding, bing, and bend.
All right, everyone. So yes, I'm so happy that I picked up this key for my Grail run. Now let's get into the messages. You guys saw how the book was shipped. Unbelievable. The fact that the mailman even, had it bent to fit into my mailbox. Again, good thing it seemed that there was no major damage. So let's just go into my initial message to the seller here. All right. I try to be as respectful as I could. Hi there. I want to be as respectful as I can saying this. First, the book arrived with no damage, thank God. But I am appalled at how you shipped it. You are selling high value comics and providing them with zero protection in the mail. Now keep in mind, this individual does have other Silver Age keys, some that are even more valuable than what I paid for this book on his eBay store. So let me continue. You are selling high value comics and providing them with zero protection in the mail. Charge someone a couple dollars more in shipping and invest in either Gemini mailers or at least cut out some thick cardboard that is wider and longer on all sides than the comic to sandwich the comic between. The two backing boards you used provide zero protection from not only handling damage to the corners, but from having the post office fold the book. Let's move up. My mailbox is small and the mailman curved the package to fit it in the mailbox. Thankfully, it didn't create any folds in the comic. If it was in cardboard, it would have been left on my porch. Maybe you're new to this, so I want to try to remain humble, but I will not buy, I meant to say B-U-Y, I will not buy from you again, nor recommend you if you are going to continue to ship books worth hundreds of dollars with absolutely no protection. I'm just being completely honest. So what was my intent here? My intent was to tell this seller, and if the seller wasn't a big comic person and just happened to come by some very valuable comic books that they wanted to sell, you need to do better next time. All the seller could have done was reach out and say, hey, look, I thought that I put enough protection on it. I hear what you're saying. I'll take your advice and I'll try to add more protection to books that I sell later. If this individual would have did that, I would have said, appreciate you acknowledging, and I would have went and left positive feedback. I would have. This was an auction. I bid on it. I got it at a decent price. That's what I would have done. So I sit and I sit and I sit, no reply. So I respond. Would be nice to get a simple response from you. Finally, this response that I get to that was, thank you. Now, I know right now that this guy is being an a-hole. Like straight up. I know that this was a passive-aggressive response where it wasn't a genuine thank you whatsoever. So I say, nice. All I needed to know that you'll be receiving a negative review. Now, before I left that review, loser. You feel better now? Then I went and left the review. So again, his response with loser proved what I felt his intent was by just saying, thank you. This guy has a stick up his ass and he doesn't give a damn what me as a buyer had to say at all. He got his money. Oh, I'm some pretentious a-hole that's just trying to tell him how to ship his comics. I knew it from the get. Loser. So this is what I say. Are you a child? Grow up and act your age. I mean, as you can see by the picture, I mean, this guy has to be probably in his late 50s, early 60s. Are you a child? Grow up and act your age. I gave you the chance to simply acknowledge the issue and for you to hold yourself accountable. In response, You act like a juvenile. How sad of you. I'll be sure to share this experience on my comic book YouTube channel that has thousands of subscribers. Take care. I hope you realize that you are a liar. This is a good one. And this guy, I mean, how long did it take him for him to respond to this? This was like over 2 weeks later, he finally responds and says, I hope you realize that you are a liar. There were 2 pieces of cardboard. Technically, backing boards are not cardboard. Cardboard is cardboard. Now, obviously, you guys watch, and I'm sure some of you will hop in the comments and say they are cardboard, but you guys know what I mean. They aren't cardboard. They aren't a protective, thick piece of cardboard. They are basically as thick as construction paper, practically. They don't provide protection, as you can see in the video. There were 2 pieces of cardboard. Your comment of no protection is a lie. I hope you can sleep at night. I know I can. Again, what is protection when shipping a comic book? A protection is packing it in a way to where it can, first and foremost, it cannot be bent, right? It cannot fold. Secondly is protecting the corners, making sure if it gets bumped or tossed around that you protect the corners of the book. Saying that backing boards are protection are almost the same thing as saying that the cover, saying like a cardstock cover is protection. Say somebody just sent a book that had a cardstock cover and you sent it in just like a envelope saying that, well, the cardstock cover added protection to the book. No, it's not. So this is my response. Again, backing boards are not cardboard and supply zero protection. I filmed myself opening the package because I have a YouTube channel. I humbly reached out to you for you to have an opportunity to hold yourself accountable, use this as a learning experience, and then actually use real cardboard to ship your books in the future. Instead, you refused to acknowledge the issue and proceeded to act like a 5-year-old. And here you are, weeks later, still in my inbox, gaslighting me. With all due respect, grow up. Look, I'm going to say it again and I'm going to leave it at this. Some of you are probably going to watch my channel. You're going to gaslight me too. Journo, Chris, you know, look at you. You're the one acting like a juvenile, this, and that. I'm a businessman. And I'm also a consumer. And as a consumer of valuable goods, I hold sellers to a standard, to a business standard. And I even gave this seller the ability to respond to me with a level of respect and acknowledgement even after they shipped the book like that. Do you know how many people in the past that I've had that I've gotten books from, either from Mercari or from eBay, and I knew that they weren't like comic book sellers, and they shipped the book to me? I mean, there was never a case where it's a book of high value. But I remember I paid like $15 for a book once, and oh my God, it got beat up. This woman, it was just like in a manila envelope in no bag and board. And I told her what happened, and she was like, "Oh my God, let me give you a refund." I'm like, you know what? No, like, give me partial, like, give me $4 back because of the value that it's in right now. It's all good. I understand. And she gave me a full refund still, even though I told her not to. I bought books from a woman, and I have this on a video that I uploaded, whose father passed away. And she was selling off his collection to provide for her and her kids. She said, my dad didn't leave me anything else, and this is what I have to help me take care of, you know, funeral and my kids and family. I bought 4 Spider-Man books, Bronze Age Spider-Man books. And they weren't bagged and boarded, but they didn't have any cardboard or any protection. And they did get they got folded, and there were some color breaking spine ticks right in the fold. And I told her, like, look, you know, I got a good deal on these. I don't want any money back, but I just want you to know that this is probably when you're shipping books out, put some cardboard. I gave her the tips. And she said, because again, I only paid like 20 bucks for them. She refunded me. And I didn't want her to do that. And I gave her a great review. And every time she pops up for a show, I share her shows to my Instagram for folks to go check it out. That's the type of person I am, because I'm looking at it from a place of ethics and standards of how we do business. I gave this seller the opportunity to be like, oh, you know what? My bad. You're right. Like, I thought I was doing a good job putting backing boards in there. I would have gave this individual a good review. I would have said, had some, communicated some issues and worked it out. Great seller. Like, no. So can't anybody come at me saying I'm in the wrong in any way about this. I gave the seller the opportunity. The seller, this isn't even about, the way he responded isn't even about, in the way he packaged it and the way he responded, doesn't even speak to him as a seller. It speaks to how so many of us are as human beings. We're deplorable. So many deplorable human beings out there that are 50, 60 years old, that their level of emotional maturity is worse than a 5-year-old. I teach first graders, and I have first graders that are more mature than this, this dude. So clearly this guy doesn't sleep at night, because he has to respond to me 2 weeks later, however long it's been. But look, let this be a learning lesson for you guys selling. All you need to do, open communication, own up to your mistakes, and cut some real cardboard out to protect your comics if you ship comics, especially if they're $100, $200, $300, $400 books. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm still happy that I got this key in my collection. I had 14 books to go, down to 13 in my ASM Volume 1 run. Thank you all so much for watching. Be well, and until next time.